Hello and welcome. If you're new, if you're not new, welcome back. My name is Mila. I do small business, digital marketing, and education. And I am here today to talk to you about a lot of little things. I've got some topics. A lot of times I have like a main topic for a video that I tend to go through, but I felt like having more of a conversation with you. I'm also testing out this new mic, so if the sound quality is a little bit different, that's why. How are y'all doing? I hope you're good. No one watches these videos anyways. These are really for me. I really struggle with public speaking. I had some workshops this past month where I had to speak in front of probably a room of about 10, 15 people, which is not a lot when it comes down to it, but I just hate it. So this is like me warming up to it, because I mean, you're watching it, but right now I'm just talking into the void. So it doesn't matter that much. The first topic I wanted to touch on was things that I feel like I talk about with small business owners that they're like, oh, I've been doing this because I need it, but they really don't. Not like right off the bat at least. I think a lot of people think they need to post every day on social media, and although I would encourage it, it is great. It does get you to grow. If your market's not big social media users, I feel like you're just kind of posting for no reason. Some people that I talked to recently, they're lawyers, and they're not like big social media lawyers. They're not like reacting to things on YouTube. They're not giving advice out on the internet, and they post about 3 or 4 times a week. Not 3 or 4 times a week, 3 or 4 times a month. I think a lot of times when it comes down to it, they really don't need to post more. Could they? Yeah. But their goal on social media isn't to like be social media people. Their goal is to just look active and alive so that when people find them and they go check their social media, they're there. For a business like mine, where the people who are looking for me are already on social media and they're looking for someone who has a good social media presence and that kind of thing, it's important for me to post every day if I can. But even I don't like posting every day. It's a lot of work, and I don't like it that much. Can I do it? Yes, obviously anyone can do it. You can do it. I can do it. I believe in you. But like at the end of the day, it's not that big a deal if you can't post every day. Another thing I see people talk about very often is like making sure everything's in the perfect aesthetic, in the perfect colors, everything's beautiful and matches and is super aesthetic looking. And it's like, for some brands, yeah, that's important. For some brands, I'd say yes, make sure that everything looks right about the same, make sure you're staying in the same style, make sure everything looks very pretty. But for majority of brands that I work with, especially because they're a small business, people want to see realness from you to an extent. They don't want to see you looking too good. People want to see your bad moments, and they want to see you mess up, and they want to see you just do silly things like they do. They don't want to see you be perfect all the time. It just doesn't work, especially on social media. The whole point is to connect socially with people. Is having those aesthetics good? Yes. I feel like it's a great base to have, especially if you're making a lot of your own graphics and items. But at the end of the day, if your Instagram layout isn't beautiful, perfect, gorgeous, no one cares. The only exceptions I make to this are very creative and aesthetic brands. To an extent, photographers. Obviously, my photography account isn't like that. But that's just because I'm not like that. I'm not that person. I'm not a very aesthetic, clean individual. But I don't know. There's no reason to be super pretty nice if that's not like your whole business. Or if you're like a legally protected business, or like, I don't fucking know the word. I'm not a linguist. Stop judging me. Therapists, lawyers, dermatologists, like medical professionals, like people like that, where it's like people don't care that much about your personality because of the service that you provide. If they're scrolling through looking for your competence, then yes, I feel like you should have aesthetics a little bit higher up on the list. I feel like you guys are on way too many platforms. Why are you on Instagram and Facebook and Twitter and Substack and Reddit and Discord and TikTok and stop. Pick like 2 to 3 platforms to be on, number one, so that you don't burn out. But number 2, there's no way your target audience is the majority on every single platform. The audience difference between Facebook and TikTok is so large that there's no way that your audience overlaps that much to be worth posting to both. I had a conversation with a community manager the other day. She if you don't know Ashley of Techman Valley First, go find her. I love her. But we had a discussion about like what happens when you go viral, what happens when you're trying new things on social media. And one of the things we talked about was like, if something works, you're just going to keep trying it. You're just going to remix it and you're going to send it back out. Think about your favorite YouTuber, your favorite TikToker, your favorite Facebook Reels, whatever. Are they changing up their content? Like, genuinely think about it. Maybe the topic's different. Maybe the background's different. Maybe they're doing like slightly different things. But at the end of the day, the core of that content is going to stay the same because they understand what works for them. If someone got big for doing vlogs, I'd say 90% of their content is going to be vlogs. If someone got big for doing skits, 90% of their content going forward is going to be skits. If someone got big for saying ridiculous stuff, 99% of their content going forward is going to be them saying ridiculous stuff. When something works, you don't just say, yay, like, all right, now this other content that we've been doing is going to start getting views. No. At the end of the day, humans are creatures of habit. We like what we like, we don't like what we don't like. And if you had a video go viral that was set up a certain way, and like people followed you because of that video, they're going to have an expectation that you continue to do videos in that style. Now, I think followers aren't a great metric to get because people don't just like follow people for no reason anymore. They're not just like, oh, they're funny, let me follow them. No. So followers aren't a great metric to run off of. But like, if something worked, if I normally post vlogs, but then one day I posted ASMR aesthetic video, and the ASMR aesthetic video went and got 100,000 views. Fuck vlogs. Did I enjoy doing them? Yes. Did they get me anything? No. And what it comes down to is if you're in it for the love of the game, go ahead, keep making vlogs. I don't give a fuck. I'm not your mom. What I am is your marketing person, and I'm saying, this shit works. You're going to continue to do that shit until it stops working. All right. And when it stops working, we're going to just kind of remix it a little bit and see if it works again. There is no world in which I'm going to say, oh my gosh, yay, like this worked. Just keep posting like you were before. No. If you aren't willing to adapt, and if you aren't willing to change what you're doing, if you're not willing to adjust how you're making content, if you're not willing to go with the flow, you're gonna fail on social media. Social media is an ever-changing landscape. If you jumped in a river and were trying to swim against the rapids, and you're like, it's not working. Well, fuck, obviously. If you're trying to like wade in one area, and you're like having to fight the stream to wade in that area, maybe like you get it through your head that you just need to go with the stream, and eventually you'll get to where everyone else is. I will be the first to admit that marketing is arguably bad. It's arguably like preying on people's feelings, their insecurities, and all those things. Which is why I've decided, in my best efforts to make marketing accessible and fairly ethical. But, we have to understand that marketing itself and advertising is arguably a bad, mean, cruel process. That should be a preface, because we're going to talk about like kind of the shit that's making it so that you're not turning leads into sales. And this comes down to like a good funnel, but within this funnel, you kind of have to prey on people's emotions. I could put this in a nicer way and I could put this in nicer words, but I'm not going to, because I need you to understand that it is a manipulative process. Sometimes that manipulation has to be there so that you can benefit yourself, and sometimes you can benefit your customer. Let's take an example. Everyone knows Scrub Daddy. Scrub Daddy went on Shark Tank a couple years ago. They ended up not getting bought or anything, and now they're like a massive, massive company, right? One of the things that was hard to understand for most people when Scrub Daddy first came about was why. We already have sponges, we already have scrapers, we have iron wool, like we have tools to do exactly what this other tool is doing. Why do I need a Scrub Daddy? At some point, we can say that it turned from why do I need a Scrub Daddy to, wow, everyone else has a Scrub Daddy, I should get one. But you have to do a lot of work in that, why do I need a Scrub Daddy, to, oh, everyone else has one, I should get one, right? There's this massive chunk and block where you have to tell people, this is what you're missing, here's my solution, buy it. When it comes down to marketing, and marketing either your product or your service or your time or whatever you're trying to like sell to people, you have to make it clear to them what exactly they're getting out of it. If I said, here's Scrub Daddy, you get a sponge to clean your dishes and your countertops and whatever, you're gonna be like, well, I already have a sponge. Why would I care about your sponge? Of course, obviously. What if I said, hey, when you're holding a sponge, when you're doing your dishes, do your hands start to hurt from the angle you're having to hold it? Does your sponge have like a super abrasive side and a more comfortable side? Does your sponge have the ability to get hard? Because I can't say hard and soft. Does your sponge have the ability to like be stiffer if you put it under cold water and be a little bit more pliable when you put it under warm water? No. Well, it should. What I'm doing in that statement of like, does your sponge do this? Does your sponge do this? Does your sponge do this? Is I'm checking my market. Are you my customer? Do you see the value in what my product would do? Because if you're sitting there and you're like, no, my sponge doesn't do that, but I don't care. Or if you're like, no, but I have another tool for that, you're probably not my market. And that's where the marketing ends and the advertising starts. Marketing, you got to find your market, right? I start saying all those things and you're like, no, but that would be nice. Gotcha. So what I've done is I've identified your pain points. Now you're thinking like I'm thinking. You said, oh, my hand hurts when I use a regular sponge. It doesn't have the abrasiveness that I want. I do like the ability that it like can kind of change back and forth and do a lot of things, be a little bit more universal. I don't have to have several tools. I identified your pain points and I made you think about them. I said, these are your pain points. This is what is wrong with your sponge. And the unfortunate thing with marketing and advertising is that a lot of times you have to guide the person to understanding that their pain point is real and that you can fix it, right? So I have the Scrub Daddy. I said, I fed them the pain points. I said, does your sponge do this? He said, no. It'd be kind of nice if it did, or if it didn't do this. And I said, well, isn't that wonderful? Like, I have something that can like do all of those things that you want. Like, I have something that can cover it all. And you're like, wow, not only did you identify my problem, you've given me a solution. People love being handed solutions after you identify their problem. All right, psychologically, when we recognize that something is a problem, when we recognize that something bothers us, we will automatically have like a spike in cortisol. We'll be stressed. And when we get that solution to that problem, cortisol goes down, we get dopamine hits, we're like, damn, this is awesome. Let me go find more problems to solve. What I've done is I've said, this is your problem, and your cortisol goes up, and you're like, oh shit, this is my problem. Fuck. And then I'm like, but also, here's a solution for you. $5. And you're like, wow, $5 isn't that bad. I can do that, especially to bring my stress levels down right now. And so you hand me $5 and you take your thing and you get your dopamine hit and you go on your way and you find new problems to solve. And then the next person who comes along, I'm like, here's all your problems. Because I used person A to figure out exactly what the problems are. I said, here's all your problems. Here's your solution. $10. They're like, well, those are some pretty bad problems. $10 isn't that bad. Here you go. They take their thing, they get their dopamine hit, they go on their way. And what happens is, maybe they use this product. Some people immediately fall in love with the product and they're like, this is the best thing ever, I'm going to keep buying it. Some people use it and they're like, and go back to their old sponge. And they're like, damn, I miss my Scrub Daddy. And then they come back because what you've done is solved a problem they didn't know they had yet. And now if they go back to that old thing, they're like, damn, this problem that was solved for me sucks. I'm going to go pay $15 to get it solved. You have to guide your customer through every single step of the process. If you've ever been in sales, if you've ever had to sell a car or a membership or whatever, I know we've all worked in sales before. If you haven't, go work a sales job or something of the sort. It's good for you. if you've ever worked in sales, you understand your customer comes in, they don't fucking know what they want. There's like maybe 1 in 10 customers that know what they want. And those are great. You're just like, here you go. Problem solved. A lot of times they come in with a vague problem and a vague idea of a solution, and you have to be like, okay, let's figure out what the exact problem is so I can give you an exact solution. But that's hard if you don't know how to like work and talk with people. You say, this is your problem. You don't wait for them to tell you what their problem is, or they'll be like, I don't even really have a problem. Just kind of looking around. No, this is your problem. This is how I fix it. Here you go. Done. And then you have to call them back and say, hey, come back to me in 30 days. We'll get you another one. That way you can make sure your stock continues. Back to the Scrub Daddy. So let's say I'm a salesperson for Scrub Daddy. I'm at an event. People are walking around. Nobody knows who Scrub Daddy is, right? I'm sitting there. Someone walks up to me. They're like, oh my gosh, what is this? Number 1, they've showed interest. You've already got them if they've showed interest. All you have to do is hold on to them. That's it. The hardest part of a sale is catching someone's interest. If they come in with interest, you're fucking good. They walk in, what's this? Oh, hi, how are you doing? Create the connection. All of this is applicable to social media. That's why we're talking about it. Hi, how are you doing? I'm good. I love your watch. That's so cute. My grandpa had a watch just like it. Oh my goodness. The kids these days, they can't read analog watches anymore. It's crazy. Like, I can't even, yeah. I'm like, back in my, now we've made it like they feel like they are more important than my job. I know, manipulative, but it works. Oh my goodness. Well, let me actually talk to you for a second. Like, don't even worry about this. Do you, I fucking hate washing dishes. Excuse my language. I hate washing dishes. And, one day I found this brand. They're like a super small startup right now, but it was so nice. I had the worst hand pain. I don't know, those classic sponges where they're not made for your hand. It doesn't even work at all. And so I was like, gosh, my hand hurts. I had to have 4 different tools. I had to have my iron bowl and my pan scraper and my sponge. It was very annoying, right? And so I'm sure you get it. Yeah. And so one day I came across these guys and I was like, wow, these are so amazing. So what they have little holes in there so that your hand's at a natural angle. Yeah, helps with the pain so much. The arthritis is getting so bad these days. Which, you want to keep wearing that watch. Got to keep those wrists good. And yes. Yeah, so I found it, and then it has this really abrasive side, kind of like a normal sponge, you got to stick to the good classic stuff. But then when you run it under cold water, it's super tough, like your iron wool. And when run it under warm water, it's a good, nice sponge. So I can use it on everything. I've used it on my stove top. I've got one of those electric stove tops, so they're always a pain to clean. I started using this probably about a year ago, and I was like, oh my gosh, I don't think I could ever go back to a regular sponge again, if you ask me. Oh yeah, of course. You know what? It's a great deal right now. We're only selling them for $7 a piece. If you hate it, we'll take it back for free. You never have to look at them again, right? $7. What's that, pocket change? Let's get you one now. What I'll do, I'll take down your information. I'll check back in with you in a week or 2. I'll ask you how it's doing. If it's good, I'll get you 3 more. You'll be set for months, a year even. It'll be great. Yeah, wonderful. And a sale's made just like that. That's how fast and easy it can be. It's not a hard process. It's a process that you just have to people through. Let's talk about translating that over to your social media, because I'm sure that's why a lot of people are here, right? You can make the sale, whatever. You have a good funnel. How do we transfer to social media? Well, you do the same thing, but you just can't really talk to people directly, so it's a little bit harder. Okay, translating it over to social media. Let's break it down. A lot of times these conversations, obviously, as we explored, happen in very little time. You got 5, maybe 10 minutes. On social media, you have even less time. You have someone scrolling. You have maybe a couple seconds to get their attention. They're scrolling through your carousel. They're moving on with their day. Which is why you have to be like so strategic with what you're doing. You have to make sure you're calling on their pain points every single time. If you want to make a sale, you need to call on their pain point. If you're just posting for shits and gigs, I don't give a fuck. And I think it's important to balance posting for shits and gigs and posting to make a sale. Because if people always know that you're posting to make a sale, they don't want to follow you, they don't care about you. They're like, this bitch just wants money. But if you post for shits and gigs every once in a while, you're funny, you're likable, people want to buy from you, right? When you're wanting to make a sale with your social media, you hit their pain point right away. You need to make it big. As they're scrolling, they need to see it and understand it immediately. You can do a skit. People love skits. You can do really big lettering on the front of a carousel being like, does your sponge hurt your hand? Do something funny. Do an infomercial. Shit. And you also have to shut the fuck up and just get to the point. Okay, I see these fucking carousels that are 11 slides long and there's 2.5 paragraphs per carousel, and I don't want to read that much. Stop doing that. Yuck. At the end of the day, you have to understand that, like, people need information, but they don't need that much information. And people love when you solve their problems for them. So you say, boom, problem. Second slide, enunciate on problem. Okay? Or second, whatever. Enunciate on problem. Be like, damn, this is really a bad problem. Third slide, solution. I don't want to see any more shit than that. If you're making a sale, shut up and make the sale, right? I don't need 8 paragraphs to understand what you're selling me. People aren't stupid. If they are, they're going to contact you directly for more information, okay? And that's what you want. You want direct contacts, because direct contacts make you more sales than just like a social media post. So you say, here's your problem. I make tacos. You're hungry. You have a party coming up. Party, tacos. I'll be there. People don't want to think about that, right? If you're not posting your prices, if you're not posting your availability, if you're like, oh, people aren't going to hire you. So many small business owners are looking for their next paycheck. They're looking to pay the bills this month, but they don't understand how to sell their item, especially in an online space. And when it comes down to it, is your goal with selling in an online space is not really to sell, but to get them to you so that you can sell it. There's no way that you are going to sell an item in the average of like 6.4 seconds that someone spends looking at your social media post. I think it might be less. I think it might be like 3 seconds. If they're looking at it for 6 seconds, they're not sold. Quite simply. You have to sell it to them. What you can do is identify pain points and say, I have your solution. That is what creates the funnel. You say, here's your pain point, here's your solution. And then they're like, ah, damn. Let me go learn more about that. Or let me buy it and test it and whatever. Right? And now they're down the funnel. And you either make the sale or you're going to keep reaching out and you're not going to make the sale. Whatever. It doesn't matter that much. Anyways, thanks for being here. It's been a great time. I don't know if we talked about anything of importance today, but